Good morning. Today is October 27, 2020. Welcome to Cyder House Crafts, soon to be renamed. And not in time for Halloween because our name has stuff to do with Halloween. But welcome if you're returning. Thanks for coming back another day. And if you're new, cool, come on in and set a spell in our little haunted arena, house, abode, yurt, semi-detached. Anyway, yeah, come on in. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up if you like us, a thumbs down if you don't. Hit subscribe, and please leave a comment below because I don't know. I have my regular commenters like Kim and Pixie and Helen, but everybody doesn't comment all the time, and I really like to know where everybody's from, what you're doing for Halloween, and I have a special question for you today. So let's just get that out of the way. I'm going to be looking at the comments between today and Thursday, and I am going to pick one comment, and I am going to actually do what this comment says. So the question is, what is your favorite horror flick? We can't have anything soft. Nothing soft. Can't have anything soft. Yeah. I would really like to know what your favorite horror flicks are. I'm going to pick one from the comments, and yeah. So if you choose to accept it, your mission for the week is to post to me in the comments below what your favorite horror flick is, and I will pick one. So I'm really scared to do that because I know somebody's going to say something super horrible, and there's one in particular that I've never watched, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, so post in comments below. What else is happening? Yeah. So I'm sorry I wasn't here on Friday, and I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday. Ian's tooth abscessed. He was in really bad nick, so bad that we spent the morning calling dentists, or the afternoon, I'm sorry, calling dentists, and then he ended up in A&E. Anyway, yeah, so that was the excitement, and I've been looking after him for like the last 4 days. Yeah, so that's it. So today we're going to be talking about some crafting. I finished that sweatshirt top thing, but I freaking hate it. I mean, I hate it so much that I'm never going to wear it. I will show you a snapshot of that. I'm not even going to bring Hagrid over because it's so bad, and I'm probably going to donate it. There is a cross stitching, and there is some knitting, and I'm going to show you some fabric that I cut out, and I cut out the turtleneck. And I'm going to show you the fabric, but I can't show you the pieces that they're on the sewing table. I'm just waiting for my serger / overlocker to get back from the repair shop, and that's how I'm going to put that together. So my edges are nice and clean and things, but you'll see it at some point, hopefully, fingers crossed. So that's that. Blossom is asleep in my bedroom on my bed, and yeah, that's where she is. Anyway, I guess we will kick off with some crafting. I'm going to have my first sip, no shit, 7:30, first sip of coffee of the day. Oh yeah. Thank you for sharing that moment with me. Right, so what do we want to see first? Let's look at the fingerless mitts first. These are the Scary Pumpkin mitts by the lady whose name I can't enunciate. I have finished the first one, as we all know. I showed it last week, but I'll show it again. Yeah, that's what that looks like. And that's the back. So a little bit of color work for the Halloween days. And I have started the second one. So I have finished the cuff, which I think I said last week. Sorry, my rules all tangled up. I think I said last week I really hate doing twisted rib. It's much squishier than a regular rib. I get it, but it's just so tedious. I think being fingering weight also makes it 10 times worse. But yeah, so I have started the skulls. So I don't know if you guys can see the beginning of the skulls at the bottom there. I've covered my screen up over here, so we're just gonna have to take my word for it that it's there. And yeah, so skulls, both sides, started. So I'm gonna work on those today. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the Halloween Ouija Sal. I did it right, 2020 by Tiny Modernist, and I've really enjoyed this. Unfortunately, it is going to be put away in 4 days, whether it's done or not, because I have other Christmassy things to work on, and I'm going to do a teeny tiny Thanksgiving one. But yeah, so I finished the graveyard. I don't even know if I showed that last week, but the graveyard's finished. I finished, sorry about that. I finished the witch on the side here. Can you guys see that? Because I can't see if you can. And I started a castle down here. So yeah, so this will definitely not be finished by Halloween, but I'm super proud of the work I've done. I know Helen Duffin has finished hers, and she showed it to me on a video chat that we had last week before all this stuff went down with Ian. But hers is gorgeous. I mean, it looks really good. Like, really good. So, yeah. Hopefully Helen will do a podcast soon. Actually, speaking of podcasts, Pixie has done a new podcast. It's a booktube one, I believe. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but yeah, I'm gonna watch that this morning as well, as soon as I'm done with all this stuff. Yeah, so that was that. The next thing, I'm just gonna pop a picture of it in here quick. This was a free pattern off Pinterest. I don't even have any other information. I have done a shitty job. There it is. 1, 2, 3, and poof, it's gone. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I think it's worse because I procrastinated for so long putting it together. That's what I think. The last bit of crafting I've got here is, remember this fabric? This owl fabric? Yeah. Well, I cut out the turtleneck finally with this. This is a lot thinner than I thought it was. There's not a lot of substance to that little sucker, but that's okay because I wear sweaters and things all the time. So yeah, I am going to, like I said, be putting that together as soon as I have my serger back. What can I say? There you go. Right, so I don't have my list of movies in front of me. I'm sure I'm going to miss one, but I'll start out with the softest one first. And this week, actually yesterday, we watched Casper. And this stars Christina Ricci, Bill Pullman, and I can't think of the little boy's name who plays Casper. I'm such a shit. Yeah. Anyway, the story, in brief, is about a little boy who dies early 20th century. He gets a sled. His dad buys him a sled. He goes out sledding all day. His dad tells him come in. He doesn't come in. He catches a cold, and you know that turns into pneumonia, and he dies. But he'd already lost his mom, and his dad was very sad. So what he said to Christina Ricci's character Kat is, "I hung around for my dad." Christina Ricci and her father have been invited by these very not nice people to come and investigate Whipstaff Manor, which is the home where Casper lives, or lived with his dad, and now haunts, and 3 other ghosts who are really, really funny and obnoxious and great fun. Watch it. And they come to investigate. Now, these not nice people who have inherited this place want to know where the treasure is inside this house. And so they hire Bill Pullman to come because he's a paranormal psychiatrist who helps ghosts pass on to the next life. Gets them through their unfinished business. He brings Kat to the house. Casper sort of falls in love or crushes on Kat. The story goes on. There's dealing with the 3 obnoxious ghosts, trying to get them to move on. They're not interested. They don't care. They take Bill Pullman out for a drink because he's depressed about his wife and the fact that he can't convince these 3 to pass on. And he gets drunk, he falls in a hole, and he dies. Meanwhile, Casper's treasure is the fact that his dad's got this workshop in his basement, and he's devised a way to bring people back from the dead. And there's only 1 vial of the liquid that you need to bring people back. I'm not going to go any further. I'm just going to say, I'm sure you can guess what happens. Anyway, Casper is going to get 5 bats from me because I think it's great holiday viewing, and it's something the whole family can enjoy because there's a lot of subtle adult humor in it. So yeah, give Casper a watch. Yeah. So the next 2 films I'm going to talk about at the same time because it's the same thing happened over and over and over. Is The House That October Built. Now I'm going to talk about these 2, and I think you're going to be pretty surprised based on my enthusiasm at the number of bats that I give these films. The House That October Built, both of these films, the first one and the second one, are about a group of people. It's always a group, except it's not teenagers this time. It's like mid-20s, late 20 people. They get in a Winnebago and they drive around the United States looking for really super scary haunted houses to go through, you know, like the ones you visit. And they're looking for more and more extreme haunted houses. And they tell people, we're looking for extremism, right? Then all of a sudden they hit upon this. Well, someone hears them. And at this really scary haunted house, someone hears them, overhears them. The person that overhears it ends up getting in kind of a verbal with the leader of these folks who are traveling around. That scared the crap out of me. I've watched so many scary movies. That's my husband.
For your convenience, we shall keep you informed of the remaining intermission time, 3 minutes before the next show starts. The next show will start in 2 minutes. Just a minute, folks.
Hi, sorry. That happens every time I talk to you guys. So, he gets in a verbal with the dude from the very extremist house, and they start to follow them in their Winnebago around the country. So they do this creepy shit whilst they're like camping. Sorry again. Anyway, come to find out, it's the leader that's kind of coordinated with these people. And it's really kind of weird. But they haunt them. And it is scary. I mean, if it happened to me, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, it's the first thing I'd do is drive my Winnebago to the nearest police station and say, what the fuck is going on? These people are following us. Make them stop. And there's 2 different endings. I'll tell you the endings. So in the first one, they end up being trussed and put into caskets and actually buried alive. Alive. Okay? Because these people are dumb enough to actually admit what scares them. So somebody gets snakes, another person gets lights out, another person, the girl gets buried alive, basically, and then everybody else gets buried alive. But the police come and they get saved and blah, blah, blah. So, in the next film, and I've just given away the ending, but I don't really care because, yeah. I mean, it's scary, whether you know the ending or not. It's scary. The ending in the second one is a bit different, and I'm not going to give that one all away. They convinced this girl who said, no, I'm never going out with you guys again. They convince her to go out. They say, basically, we're just going to go to less harmful things. We're just going to judge them because you are the face of Halloween now, little girl, because everybody saw you on a live feed being buried alive. And she said, no. And then they say, there's money in it. These people are paying us to go do this. And she's like, fine. And the whole thing starts all over again. The whole thing. And she's like, I did not sign up for this. I'm going home. I'm not dealing with this. This is ridiculous. And the guy's like, we only have one more place to go. So they end up basically being gassed again and driven 4 states away from where they are. So they were in Illinois, I believe, and they end up in North Carolina. They end up going to this out of the way, looks like a parking garage in the middle of God's country. And ungodly things happen. I mean, super ungodly things. Like, they all get hooded and separated. And she's going through, and there's this little girl who has this, like, it's a very hard plastic, just a face mold, like one of those Harlequin masks on. And she leads her through, and then she shows her some things on a videotape this girl did not know. And then she leads her into this room where there's weaponry, and in like a tea casket, a tea caddy, there are some other things. And then things happen. I'm not going to tell you the end of this one because I was just like blown away by the end of it. Literally blown away. So anyway, these 2 films, now, I've said they're super scary because they are. But for something that's supposed to be like reality TV, it wasn't very realistic because nobody in their right mind would have put up with that crap and not gone to the police. You'd have gone to the police. Anybody would have gone to the police. They would have at least tried to contact the police. So I am giving these 2 films 3 stars. The House That October Built, 3 stars. Yeah, that's what it's getting. Both of them, 1 and 2. Basically because it wasn't really realistic. They should have at least tried to call the cops. So there you go. That's what it does. Right. Give me 1 second to think. So Hocus Pocus, what the fuck, right? I mean, come on. You really need to see it if you've never seen it. It's a really good family film. Little boy tries to save his sister in 1727 or 1627. 3 witches take her soul, turn him into a cat. He lives forever as a cat. Bring you forward to 1993. A boy and his little sister move from California to Salem, Massachusetts. Insert pretty girl that's in the young man's class. The whole Sanderson witch, which is Kathy. Oh, I can't think of her last name. Why can't I ever think of that woman's last name? Anyways, it's Kathy, Bet, and Sarah Jessica Parker. And they're the Sanderson sister witches. And so they're the ones who turned the young man into a cat. And in 1993, the young man from California lights a candle in their old home. And it's a black flame candle. And it brings them back to life. Mayhem. 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 They spend the night running away from the Sanderson sisters because they have Bette Midler's spell book. And they run into a cemetery. She brings a corpse from 1600 back to life, and that chases them, but ends up actually being their friend in the end. And I don't want to do too much in this because I don't know if somebody watching hasn't seen this film, and you really need to see it yourself because I can't do it justice. Anyways, they're trying to get their book back. They finally get their book back. They go and they find this little girl, his little sister. They steal her. They take her back to their house, and it kicks off. So, not that it hasn't been kicking off the whole time before that, but the end kicks off. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not very good at this, really. I should spend some more time trying to figure out what I really want to say about these films, all of them. And it'll get better next year, I'm sure. The thing is, you'll hear the same shit about the same films next year because I watch my films year on year. Although I have been trying to find new ones. Anyway, back to Hocus Pocus. Yeah, so Bette Midler does a great job. Very creepy. Sarah Jessica Parker. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of hers, but she is really good. Her character is really good in this. The kids all do a great job acting, and yeah, they do. Everybody's good in this. So this gets 5 bats from me. The Hocus of Pocus. Yes. Great family viewing. 2 thumbs up. Yeah, so what was next? I can't remember. Sit tight. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh my God, how could I have forgotten that? Right. Back up. So the last film I'm going to talk about is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I love this movie. I know this is a point of contention for everyone who is a fan of the Halloween series, movie franchise, whatever. Yeah, I love Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. There is just something about having Mikey Myers not in the story. But yeah, it's super, super creepy. It is about a doctor. Wow, let's back up. It's about a man from Ireland who builds a toy factory in some seaside town in America. But he's not a nice person. He has brought one of the stones from Stonehenge. Yeah. Okay, come on, give me a break here. And it's in his factory. And what this man does is, because he is a true believer in older practices, like way older practices, where children and animals and sometimes adults are sacrificed for a good harvest for the next year. Keep the whole clan, tribe, village safe. So what he's done is he's taken little bits from the stone from Stonehenge and he's put it into these little chips, computer chips, that he's attached to these masks, these Halloween masks. And he's built this electronic trigger that comes through a commercial on television that's going to happen at 9 o'clock on Halloween night. And so all these kids are getting these masks because they're like super popular. Well, and they are pretty good masks, actually. I mean, I would have had one. But not after I saw what happens when you put one on and you get triggered. Ugh. Anyway, so that's the preface to the whole thing. Then cut to doctor in hospital. Man comes in. Man's running a shop. Man who runs the shop has gone to pick up some masks from this factory, realizes what's going to happen to all of these children, and they chase him, pursue him, harm him. He ends up in the hospital. He's having a coronary. He's tried to stop at a gas station to call the cops. The gas station attendant actually brings him to the hospital because he's just so worked up. He's had a heart attack. He gets in the hospital. He hears the famous commercial.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
And the doctor tends to him. They get him stabilized, and the man is lying in his bed, and the people from the shop come and they put their thumbs into his eyes. That's how they kill him. I'm not even going to mince words. It's pretty goddamn gross. It is. And so this happens. The doctor starts to get super suspicious. The daughter comes and she's got to identify the dad. And she's like, there's something not right. My dad was here and there. I've checked all of his stuff. I've done some detective work. And these two end up going to this factory. Stupid. But there wouldn't be a movie if they hadn't. So there you go. I'm not going to talk anymore about what happens in the second half of this film because you need to see this film. I don't care what anybody says. Halloween fan, not a Halloween fan. I am a Halloween fan, and I say Halloween 3 is 5 bats. This is 5 bats. You need to see this. What happens in the second half of this movie is so exciting and so engaging and so good. And the ending, holy crapoly, it was not at all what I thought it was going to be. And I still feel that way after seeing it. God. I probably watched it every year since it came out. On VHS and then DVD and then, streaming. So, yeah. 5 bats for sure, for serious. Yeah. So, anyway. So what am I going to be doing this week? This week I'm going to be rewatching all of the Halloween franchise films. I'm going to start with 2018 this afternoon and do some crafting while I do that. I will be listening to something this morning while I'm doing all my housework. Probably, I don't know. I'll be listening to something, probably 1940s radio. There's a horror channel, which I showed you a few videos back, which is really, really good. So I'll probably listen to that while I'm doing all my housework and things like that. But yeah, it's horror films all the way today. I need to watch, on Thursday night, I need to watch Trick or Treat. And of course I'm going to film on Friday. So I will talk about Halloween 1 on Friday because I've seen it so many times. I'll, just say I'm seeing this tomorrow. On Friday, I need to watch Halloween 2. And it might all seem mad that I'm watching them in reverse order, but it's very, very important to me to see Halloween 1 on Halloween night because it's just a thing. It's just stuck in my brain. Also, I am going to be watching the Disney Sleepy Hollow cartoon with Bing Crosby, narrated cartoon, plus Donald Duck, Halloween. Those are just favorites of mine, just total favorites of mine. I'm trying to think what else. I know there's other films that I need to see. I just can't name them right now. I have today for my decoration, which is flashing in colors, I have my medicine bottle with bats, which is very flashy indeed. And I have witch's brew. Oh my god, that smells so good. In my owl. So that is a Yankee candle called Melt. Not a candle, called Witch's Brew. I hope you're all okay, you're well, and you enjoy this last week of spookiness before we Americans move on to Thanksgiving and British people start shopping for Christmas. Anyway, I hope you're all okay. I hope you look after yourselves, and mostly, I hope you stay scared stiff. I'll see you Friday. Take care.